So today we really want to kind of give you some of those hacks and some benefits of what we can do as the real estate, as a veteran community, and not only just to better ourselves, but to pass the word on, because there's a lot of false information out there, Jesse.
Amen. Well, and I'll tell you my own story.
Right.
I'm okay with saying that I had to learn as I went along, you know, and I bought my first house in the early 2000s. Guess what? 80-20. You know what? Guess what? Single family residence. Man, I wish we could go back, because back then, you know, get a good solid W-2 job, could have qualified, whatever. And what I should have done is I should have gotten a fourplex, zero down VA, moved into the small unit, you know, learned, and this is the key. To me, learning is one of the most important factors in life, in business, and taxes, whatever. You got to learn how the rules are. Well, for me to learn how to become a real estate investor, to learn how to manage my own properties, because I'm living there, so I would have obviously known what was good and bad with the property, and then, you know, buying that single family, you know, residence for the wife and the kids. But you should have just, I should have just gotten that fourplex right out of the gate, because, you know, the rules now are even better, right?
Right. And I think let's recap that piece again, because I don't know if everyone caught that piece. So,
Okay.
as a single person in the military, you have the most stable job that exists.
Yeah.
You also, if you've served for a certain amount of time, or you're in the reserves for a certain period of time, you now have access to the VA loan. Huge, huge, huge benefit. 0% down, with now, and the changes in 2020 and through 2021, no loan limit. That means, just like we just closed on a couple of days ago, a fourplex, 2 blocks from the ocean for $2.9 million with 0% down. And if you're in the military, active duty, and people are scared, like, what duty station, I'm moving. And my question to that is always, if not this duty station, which one?
Yeah, right.
And by the time you do your 20 years or your 4, whatever that is, like, when are you going to choose to buy? You got to live somewhere. And as a single person, there's a great time in life to be able to make some sacrifices of the place you live. When you have a family and kids, it's a lot harder. And what Jesse's saying is, let's rethink the order of operations. First of all, let's throw the big ass truck. Sorry if I can't say that, but let's throw that out the window, and let's let the house buy that for us.
Amen.
Just a little later down the road, right? And maybe the company that we've now built buys that truck, and there's some other strategies with that.
The best advice I've ever given my son, actually, I don't know if it's the best, but I've given him a lot of advice over the years of this kid. But one of the best words of wisdom, and we think this through, it makes so much sense. Borrow to invest. Don't borrow to consume. Think about that. Is it hard? Oh yeah, you better believe it's hard. Especially when you're a young guy in the service and you're just not making that much money. Although 20 years ago, not making much money versus today is a lot different.
Yep.
I mean, as a young lieutenant, I made like $1,700 a month, man. $300 a month for housing.
Yeah.
Right now, you got a E5 at 10 years, making $3-4 grand a month, and another $2,000-3,000 for BAH. That's some serious money.
Yeah, and that's some money that maybe you have to make a couple of sacrifices. I'm not saying life isn't about evaluating your own pros and cons in your own situations,
right.
But maybe you make a couple of sacrifices, and you say, you know what, I'm going to choose to earn that and buy that fourplex.
Yeah.
What you're also maybe not even thinking about is that's probably cash flowing for you. In a place like San Diego, when you're getting these in this low interest rate environment, you can cash flow that fourplex by living in one of the units. You got to live somewhere, taking your tax-free BAH money, applying that to your portion, and having 3 other people pay your rent. And I just want to dig into one. I want to go head on. I'm a real estate guy. I love real estate. I think that every single person should own a piece of real estate, especially if you defended our country. You deserve to own a piece of it, right?
Amen, brother.
Can we agree with that?
Absolutely.
So let's just dig into the tax strategies and what the difference is between primary and investment property, especially as the rules have changed over the years.
So 2018 huge, right? I remember giving, so by the way, and I'm happy to say this, do you know that 2018 tax reform catapulted my business? I was already, I was already established, probably had a couple hundred clients at that point, did everything myself, self-employed. The rules were so dramatically different with 2018 tax reform. When I was going around the county teaching agents how to navigate the new waters, we're on track to do close to 1,000 tax returns right now.
Wow.
And it's 3 years later. I now have 3 full-time employees plus an intern and then a part-time. And I'm not crying, man.
Yeah.
It's the right thing to do. But why? So the first thing with 2018 tax reform, look, now that the 45th president is no longer in the White House, hopefully people are less, how would you say, emotional as to what I'm going to say. I used to have to preface this with, love him or hate him.
Right.
If you understand who Trump is as a person, you'll understand tax reform. Who is he? He's married, he had a kid, he's a real estate investor, he's self-employed. If you hit these, you just hit the lottery.
Yeah.
Okay? Because when you look at it, 2018 tax reform helped if you were married.
Yep.
It hurt you if you were single.
Yep.
Right?
You got a penalty tax.
Oh my goodness, right? Because they did that. The standard used to be single,
Yep.
right? And then you get 2 incomes, you get the marriage penalty. Just the opposite. Now the standard's married joint, right? You're single, you're in a pickle. So first, married or single, right? And that difference really only mattered if you were single making over $150.
Right.
If you're making $150,000 or more, you're in a situation. The second thing was homeowner versus real estate investor. Guess what? That single guy that was counting the big tax deduction for having a big mortgage, oops, right? That basically the rules were changed where now Schedule A itemized deductions, right? The most you can deduct for taxes, property, just state and local taxes, a total of $10,000.
Yeah.
And then the most mortgage you could deduct was based on $750,000. Well, if you do the math on it, the very, very most a normal person is going to be able to get is about 30 grand.
Yeah.
30, 35 grand. Well, the standard deduction for married people now is $25,000. There's no benefit really. And real estate agents out there, I don't want you hating me. I love you guys. You're great. Stop selling the benefit of homeownership for the tax side. It's a completely different deal if we go back to the investment side.
Correct.
But if we're talking about your primary residence, look, you got to live somewhere, right? You might as well make your home your abode and build equity in your house.
Yep.
The rules in San Diego are different than the rules in Arkansas, right? Right.
Yeah.
The hinterland is not going up in value like it is, but most homes have doubled in value in the last 10 years.
We're an appreciation game, not a cash flow game,
Amen.
right? So
Yeah.
when we look at those primary residences, and that's why we can do what we just talked about,
Yep.
if we got to just think about how are we getting to the stage where I'm going to invest in some real estate or make that part of my portfolio, because then I can start getting some major tax benefits there.
Well, and even to the point where I'm talking to people all the time about their taxes, and if they're paying rent, I'm nosy, I guess, but I was like, hey, what are you paying in rent?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. Not $2,500 anymore. It's $3,000, $3,500, $4,000. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You're going to pay $3,000 a month for rent?
Yeah.
What do you think is happening with that money?
Right.
You're paying down somebody else's mortgage.
Sure.
You might as well pay $3,500 a month and pay down yours.
Yep.